So the sun rises at 6, and I think my little gas trip, that sounds weird. Just after 5 a.m. again. Forgot I didn't have any gas. I'm thinking aerial photography today. I've got aerial on my mind, I'm not sure why. Just seems fun. It is cold. I think I found a spot. I'm not sure. You never quite know what to expect when you go up in the air. It's a completely different perspective, but all the same rules to photography apply. I'm gonna need this. So I just got down to the lake here and I noticed something cool. I was setting up that guy, that little GoPro, and as I got down low, I really liked the look of the water. And so, although I still do want to get some aerial images, I think I'm going to have a hand at a few shots low on the lake like that also. I'm going to start out with a long lens. I hate these things. There we go. Start out with a long lens on a tripod, and I'm just going to try and get low. Quick tip, when you're on a tripod, turn off your image stabilization. So I've taken a couple test shots, and the problem that I'm running into is there's not enough light right now. I'm not trying to get blurry water, I'm trying to get some nice defined ripples in the water, and what's going on is I'm at like 2.5 seconds of a shutter speed because the sun hasn't come out yet, and it's just giving me a flat blurred image. It's really getting me nothing great. So I've got my ISO ramped up to 1600 and I'm at f11 at a 1/15 of a second. Alright, that was cool. Got some aerial stuff, got some wide stuff, got some long stuff. Who knows if I got any stuff? We'll see in the post. So I want to teach you a simple and quick way to create a vignette on your images in Photoshop. This is the way that I typically do it because I feel like it gives me the most control. So to start, I just simply select a new layer, and then I go up to this tool here, which is the ellipse tool. There's different ones. I make sure you're selected on the ellipse, and then you can just draw where you want your vignette to be. So I'll typically go from close to corner, and I get it fairly close. And then if you hover over the little marching ants, it creates this little arrow, and you can click and drag this thing around, and you can get it, kind of dial it in exactly where you want. Sometimes Photoshop will snap lines like that. It makes it really easy for you to get it in the center. So right now my selection's in the middle here, but what I want to do is darken the outside edges. And so I have to invert this selection. In order to do so, I hold down Shift and Command on a Mac and push I for invert. And when I do that, you see that the marching ants now are around the outside edge and also the inside edge, which means that the selection is here. Then to create the vignette, I simply go in and go to a curves adjustment, and I'll just pull down the center of this. Basically what that's doing is it is darkening the midtones of this image. You can see it's a hard line right now, and that's not what I want. So if I go into this little Japanese flag, it's the mask, and I can feather it. What I like to do is I actually option click on the mask itself so I can see what it looks like. And as you can see right now, it's just a hard edge. And then I'll just drag this feather way up so I can see what it's doing. Looks like I'm going to want it about there. So about there. And then I will option click back on it now that I know what the mask looks like. And I can still kind of see the line there, so I'll go back in. I'll feather it up just a bit more. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll just play with the darkness of it right here to see where I actually want it. And I really like the dark edge around this thing. Just make that center glow. And that actually gives me another idea too that I think I'm going to play with. So I like what that's done there. I'll call this a vignette. That's how you create a simple vignette in Photoshop.